Umigusa, hata hata. So today is March 17th, 2025, and I'm going through a box. I can't really call this an unboxing video because it's not a new purchase. These are things I've owned for many, many years and haven't looked into this box since like 2006-ish when we moved into this house. I was thinking about various contents of this box without having the memory that they were all in one box together. And then I was shifting some stuff around and saw this box and everything that was written on the side of it. And I'm like, holy crap, they're all right there. So I decided to do a video of me sort of digging in and exploring it. We began recording this video and it had a problem already, which was that the lens was kind of smeary. And so everything white in the shot was like bleeding a ghost higher up in the frame. And I thought, good enough. The phone rang, interrupting me. So I stopped the recording. And then the broken ring light broke even further. So at the moment, my camera is propped up on top of a plastic crate, and the ring light is inside the plastic crate on top of a TV tray. So I guess I need a new ring light. Hey, it was only 20 bucks. If I could figure out some way to change the top of the tripod so that the camera could go on it, I would, but that's not really compatible. And trying to fix the broken piece of the ring light with epoxy putty. I've tried that 3 times and it has proven impossible ever since. So I guess I could just hold it right there, do the whole video right here in the middle, right? That's the best my face has looked. So, or look. All right, so that's why the video looks a little peculiar. I apologize, but we're moving on anyway. So, the contents of this box, right here, it says on the side, Brazilian bootlegs, Asian 2-inch TPM figs, Galaxy Empire 7, and customs, work in progress. And below that it says Grinch decorations. So where did those ever get moved? Because that's been crossed out on the Grinch decorations there, so... I remember I one time took the mayor from the Grinch and one of the Techno Union figures, and I just posted a picture online. The joke being that it was Jeffrey Tambor and Watt Tambor. So, but I have taped this up on both sides, and at some point cut the tape. I guess just to put other things in there or what have you. I don't know. So. Galaxy Empire. What exactly is Galaxy Empire? I'll show you. Galaxy Empire have featureless card backs, and they are bootlegs of the Power of the Force 2 Star Wars line. They're oversized. The regular figure should come to about right there. So my initial thought when I learned of the existence of these was, hey, it'd be neat to get those and repaint them into the correct color schemes for the Star Wars figures from the Power of the Force 2. That proved cost prohibitive quickly, and I realized, okay, new idea. Collect these and then buy some loose Power of the Force 2 figures and paint them to match the weird colors of the bootlegs. So there is a Stormtrooper, and all of these are in their blisters, but the blisters were cut, so I can take them out on camera if need be. And I hope this blaster goes to this figure, but there are some scale issues going on, and I see no way to put that blaster in his blue gloved hand there. So interesting little Stormtrooper there. The next one that I'm going to show you is his boss, because I mean, who doesn't want a chocolate brown Darth Vader, right? It's like a shrug. So here is that figure with his gold accents. Yeah, that's just...
That's him if he didn't turn to the dark side.
Oh, this is
up the armor.
Okay, the brown armor from the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
But he changed it to kind of honor C-3PO.
He still got wounded. He just didn't go to the dark side, so he still needs the breath mask and everything. Hey, alternate history, Anakin Skywalker right here. So, and there's a lightsaber in here. I thought I thought I saw one. It'll turn up as we go deeper into the box. So, all right. Han Solo looks
Bit Western.
yeah. He's mostly got everything correct, but the very blue pants, the brown vest, the brown holster, yeah, gives him kind of a. I mean, he is a space cowboy. I mean, let's just be honest. The character is a space cowboy. So this was Chewbacca. Now Chewbacca is gray and comes with a blaster he can actually hold. And I think his lips are sort of a purplish blue color there. Hopefully that's going to be focused. So let's put Chewie and Han together here and see what we got going on. So yeah, just like you remember them from the movie, right? And these came out around the time of Shadows of the Empire. Shadows of the Empire was a concept that they did in the 90s. Really, Hasbro had the same concept in the 80s. So it was ahead of its time then. And what they wanted to do was create a new storyline so they could keep selling toys. And they kit bashed some figures together, and they said, here's the villain, Aetha Prime, and here's Mongo Beefhead Tribesman, and here's all these Imperial attack droids. And they put together a presentation binder, and they showed it to Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm was not interested. Sorry, movies are over, we're done. And then about 10 years later, Lucasfilm's like, hey, here's an idea. Let's sell some merch, and we're going to promote it just like a movie tie-in, except no movie. So they did a comic book, they did a novel, they did action figures, they did a video game. They did the whole schmear, except there was no film to tie it around. So Shadows of the Empire came out, set between Empire and Jedi. And so in one scene, Chewbacca has to disguise himself as a Wookiee bounty hunter named Snuva. And I think, if I remember correctly, Snuva was supposed to be a legit existing Wookiee bounty. It wasn't just a persona they made up for Chewbacca. He was supposed to be impersonating this guy. So why have we never seen Snuva in anything set prior to Empire or anything set after Shadows of the Empire? They could have killed him in Shadows of the Empire for all I remember. So here are the two gray furred versions of Chewbacca. You got regular Chewbacca, who I almost dropped, and Snuva Chewbacca. So then there's a Luke Jedi-ish character here in black, but it's really just the farm boy outfit in different colors. It's not the Jedi mold, but that works anyway because you got that great soundbite of Mark Hamill telling George Lucas, it's very much like my outfit from the first film, except the black is a little more Jedi-like. So, and then that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Side of the box said there were 7. Boba Fett, with a slightly undersized looking jetpack, if you ask me, and he doesn't look too terrible. Color-wise, it's not as different as a brown Darth Vader or a gray Chewbacca. So that's the 7 Galaxy Empire characters. And then here are the figures that I began customizing. So I primed a Chewie and a Snuva to make them look like their counterparts here. So see, you can see how much scaled up these were for the bootlegs. Han. I still think it would be cool to have the larger one, a spare set of the larger ones, and paint them to look like the Power of the Force 2. And this is the one that I got farthest along with. Apparently I finished him. And that is a Power of the Force 2 Stormtrooper painted to look just like the Galaxy Empire. I'm going to take some still photos of all these and upload them to Facebook or wherever. And I painted a Luke black, but didn't get any farther with him than that stage right there. I guess my thinking was to completely repaint the flesh tones, but why didn't I mask him off? That could have been a one-stop project. Instead of saying, oh, I'll paint that later. And then I just apparently tucked some carded figures in here to do Vader. I never have. I hope there's a Boba Fett in here as well. Oh, here it is. There's a loose Boba Fett. Yeah, so I've got a loose Boba Fett, a carded
Still
Vader.
in its original color scheme.
Yeah, in the correct color scheme.
And Vader.
And the black Vader. So, and here's that lightsaber. I found it. So, looks to be like in need of some straightening. Insert little blue pill joke here. But that is all of those. The next level, as we go further down in the box, again proves that all of these were collected right around the time of Shadows of the Empire. So I used to write for. Oh, here's a couple extra guns. Now this is a Chewbacca gun that I guess got produced twice, one for him and one for Snuva. The thing is, the Snuva gun, the Chewbacca gun, if I'm not mistaken, this little boxy section right in here with what looks like a flashlight head was originally a real Ghostbusters toy that they cut apart, added some other pieces too. I think that piece comes off of 4LOM's rifle. And so they kludged this together and made a little version of it for the Power of the Force 2 Chewbacca, and then the Galaxy Empire bootleggers made a giant version of it. But there's still a little bit of real Ghostbusters legacy in that right there. So, Shadows of the Empire. Around this time, I was writing for a friend of mine's fanzine, Star Wars collector, Martin Thurn, originated that. Somebody posted about having a bootleg Luke in Coruscant Guard gear figure. I really, really wanted to get a copy of this. And I looked everywhere. I couldn't figure out an inroad to getting myself a Brazilian bootleg like this. So ultimately, I just contacted the person that had posted about it, and they said, well, I'll sell you mine. And that's how I got it. So removable little cape here in like a weird sand tan, maybe flesh tone color. But otherwise, a fairly accurate representation of the smaller version of Luke Coruscant. I still remember seeing the Luke Coruscant figure. We were in Indiana visiting my first wife's cousin. And it was my first ever trip to a Target. I'd never been to a Target. We didn't have one here. It was more of a northern thing at the time. And so we go in, there's practically nobody in there. And the cousin's boyfriend was also a Star Wars collector. Matter of fact, if you guys have ever seen any of the customs by Siloff, that's him. Siloff is his last name backwards. And so he and I see these new figures, Shadows of the Empire figures, and we both reach, and I think he got the Carbonite Han. I'm like, oh, I would have wanted that figure. And I consoled myself with the Luke Coruscant Guard figure, if I'm remembering it correctly. And then eventually, of course, I got those when I got back home to Alabama at other stores. But on that trip, it kind of, that was my bonding moment with Shadows of the Empire, was this Luke Coruscant Guard. And then I made a Lando in Coruscant Guard disguise, so yeah. Also, I must have gotten these from the same seller, because here's Prince Shizor from Shadows of the Empire, scaled to the Luke. And you can see these guys are in between the Power of the Force 2 figures and the Galaxy Empire figures. So, where's that little Luke? There we go. So, again, scales all over the place when you get involved with the bootlegs, but... And I've even got Shizor's weapon, the interlocking fan blades deal. And I've got a carded Luke Skywalker. I know, it says Luke Skywalker, but that's clearly Han Solo with no carbonite block. So, and this says Power of the Force. So, and the back of it even says Luke Skywalker. But then it advertises all the Shadows of the Empire characters down there. So, I don't know. And it's just all over the place. And then, I couldn't have planned that any better. Then, just being used as a layer in between everything, guess what? A Target bag. And the bottom layer is yet another scale of figures. And these are the little Asian 2-inch tall figures for Phantom Menace. So here is Anakin and Padme. And here's Jar Jar Binks, Obi-Wan, Darth Maul, a little bit higher. There we go. And I knew this was going to happen. Queen Amidala, Qui-Gon Jinn, and a battle droid. All right, I don't know if we got all those in frame. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 figures total. Plus a Naboo starfighter. Again, in a really odd scale. And I could not have told you that I had these twice over. But apparently I do. Because here's a Ziploc baggie with all of them in there. Including 2 Jar Jar Binks. So there's 1, 2 Jar Jars. Anakin. 2 Obi-Wans. Qui-Gon. 1 of the Padmes. And a battle droid. So we don't have the other Padme there. Amidala, but not Padme, and no Darth Maul. I feel a bit of egg on my face because some weeks back, I bought a Jar Jar. Thinking that I only had these guys all one set and mint on the card. I certainly didn't remember having 2 loose Jar Jars. And the reason I wanted a little tiny Jar Jar was I thought it would go good, umigusa hata hata, with the Jar Jar in this box set for Phantom Menace. Because in Phantom Menace, they reused the digital information of Jar Jar Binks to make tall Gungans, fat Gungans, old Gungans, and Yungans. Yeah, I felt bad. I felt bad as my brain did it. I'm like, I gotta say it. Young Gungans. It sounded a little bit too many syllables though. So, all right. So let's take one of these loose guys out of here and just compare it height-wise. I think that would be a decent size to go along with these retro figures in the vintage style of a child Gungan in Oto Gunga. So, all right. Well, that's everything that was in the box, all sort of from one time frame together, and all just big enough to fit in one Avon box. So I was a bit surprised to find them all together. I should finish customizing those guys, and I did not know I had that many of the little half-scale Phantom Menace figures. I thought I had one set on the card. I'm a little bit gobsmacked that at some point I got so many of them duplicates. I guess I should track down those 2 if I can find them for cheap and have all 8 of them open. Why I have 2 open Jar Jars, I don't know. So now I have 2 carded and 2 loose. Thanks for watching.